what we started yesterday, which is translation. So today we're going to learn what transformations are, what translations are in particular. How can you tell what a translation is when you're looking at it? How to write them? What's the mathematical notation for them? Okay, so we've already gone over this slide, but what is a transformation? It's anything that changes the position, the size, or the orientation of a function's graph. So you could change its size by making it bigger. You could change its position by sliding it around. Or you could change its orientation by like reflecting it and flipping it upside down or from left to right. We've already talked about reflections. Today we're going to talk about translations. Our last one is expansions and compressions. And by the way, I have a Desmos activity for this one like I did for the others. But in the interest of time, we're not going to do it in class tomorrow. But it is on Google Classroom as an extra credit assignment for tonight if you want to. So you have your regular homework, but there's an extra credit Desmos activity for you to do if you want to. Okay? Yeah. It's 10. It's like a regular homework assignment. And just remember, you will see the extra credit in the grade book, but it doesn't get counted in your grade until the end of the semester. And I do that because it makes weird things happen with your grades if I put extra credit in too soon. So just so you know, but it will go in eventually. All right, so let's begin here. So what's a translation? That's what we're talking about today. A translation is a transformation in which the graph is moved up, down, left, or right. Okay, so that's basically it. And we kind of explored this concept a little bit yesterday whenever we did our Desmos activity. So here's my function, and here's the graph of that function. One of the things that we looked at yesterday is what happens when you take your function and you add a number to it. Well, what we found it did was it translates it up, so it moves it up. So if you added 2 to your function, every point would go up 2 spaces. So if that graph over there looks like that, it would move it up to look something like that, just raises it up. Okay? As for the equation, that would look something like this, the square root of x plus something. It's outside of the square root. Okay? We also saw that if we subtract a number from it, that would move it downwards. So if my original function looks like that over there on the left, then if you subtract something from it, it just shifts it in a downward direction. Okay? And the equation would just look like this. Once again, you're subtracting a number outside of the function, outside of the square root. But we also looked at 2 other things. You don't have to just add and subtract outside the parentheses. You can actually add inside the parentheses. And what we kind of found when we did that yesterday was it does something a little bit counterintuitive. We found it moves it to the left. You would think that if you're adding, it would move it to the right, because that's the positive direction, but it actually moves it to the left. Kind of odd. So if your original function looks like the one I've circled over there, then if you move it to the left, it would look something like that. Okay? So it just shifts it over. What that would look like in the form of the equation is the plus a would be under the square root there with the x. It's inside of the function with the x. And then, of course, we saw the last thing that we had was if you subtracted a number inside the parentheses, it does the opposite. It moves it to the right. And so your graph would look something like this. It would be shifted over that way to the right. And once again, it's inside the square root. So I'll leave that up there for a few moments until I see some hands stop writing, and then we'll move on to practice some of the stuff. So here's our directions. Describe the transformation from F to G. All right, you guys don't have to write it, do you? Because I printed it for you. Okay, cool. So, are we adding or subtracting? Okay, so here's my original function. Here's the new one. And we're adding something to it, right? Now, am I adding inside or outside? Okay, so we need to use words to describe what the transformation would be. So you're going to look at the column that says description on your sheet. What kind of transformation is that? It moves it up. Now, we could write that just for our notes here. It moves up. But let's say it translates up as well. So I want you guys to get used to that math language. Because that's the word we're going to use for move in here is translate. Okay? Translates up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second one there. And if I'm going too fast, just tell me to wait if you need to write something down. I don't want to leave you in the dust. Okay? Adding or subtracting? Inside or outside? So, adding inside the parentheses. What's the transformation? Moves left. But we're going to say what? We're going to say translates left. Okay? That's it. We're just describing what we do. So now if you want me to bring this down to like a visual, what's happening, suppose that F, well, I know what F looks like. F looks like a V shape. That's what F would look like. F looks like this. Now, if I were to graph G, it would look the same thing as F, but it would be moved to the left. So it would look something like this. Shifted over a little bit. Okay? So you don't have to draw that, but I'm just giving you guys a little visual there of what it looks like. All right, let's take a look at this one. Ponder on your own there for a second. Think about what that would be. I'm going to call on you to share out what you believe it is. You can talk to your team if you want to. I'll give you a few moments. All right, Cal, what do you think? It moves right or translates to the right. Very good. So I'll write it down, but yes, translates right. It's right. Yeah, subtraction is right. Next one. Take a look at that one. Think about it for a second. I'm going to call you sure out. Now, I want to give you guys a little help on this one because this one's a little bit trickier, but the function is x squared, right? You want to take a crack at it? What do you think? Thank you. I'm going to give you a point for that. So he remembered something we talked about back when we did reflections. When you have the x squared function, they don't give you parentheses, but you can put them there. They go around this. So question, is that -1 inside or outside? Outside. So think about it with your team there for a second. See if you can figure out what that transformation would be, and I'll call on you. All right. All right, what do you think, Sharmani? What did your group get? Right? That would be if it looked like, let me show you what right would look like. Right would look like this, because then the -1 would be in the parentheses, but it's not right. Let me try another one here. How about, but you're close because it is negative. I'll be right with you. Actually, I think you're back. Yeah, she's got you. She'll take, Aaliyah knows what you're saying. Vidal, what did your group get? It translates down. So the answer is translates down. Okay? And that's that. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 4 of these. I think you guys are doing pretty well with it, so I don't think we'll spend too long on it, but go ahead and work as a team, get these 4 answers. We'll call out, get these answers up there pretty quick, and then we'll move on. All right, so There's our answers. We're going to move on to the next part. We're just going to ask the same question, but this time we're going to do it with graphs instead of the math symbols. Okay? Same question, but graphs instead of math symbols. Okay, so let me minimize this. And it's multiple choice. You guys have it on your paper there. So let me ask you this. So once again, remember, I changed the directions before when we did this because I think that the directions they give you are very confusing. So I would encourage you guys to write these down as the directions. So a lot of talking. You guys should be writing this down right now. Remember, you want to write this down because the directions on the paper are not as clear as these. So I would encourage you guys to write these down. What would you have to do to the blue line to get the green line or the dotted line? Oh, your guys' paper's not in color, huh? So I'm going to change this to solid line. The solid line to get the dotted line. Okay? So go ahead and write down those directions. Once again, the directions they give you are a little bit confusing. You're going to want to at least be familiar with them because that's how they'll ask it. But this is how we're going to read it to understand it. All right, looks like you guys have it written. We'll go ahead and begin here. So let me ask somebody, Alondra, the blue line. What would I have to do to the blue line to get it to match the green line? Move it up. Good. Now at this point, I want you guys to look at your notes on the other side there. Look for the one that says translates up. On the other side of your notes, the slide where you guys see where it says translates up. Now look at the function notation. What should we see there? And what are we doing with the number? Adding or subtracting? Is it outside or inside? So we're looking for a function where there's a number being added on the outside. So what are my options here? C and D. Both of these have a number being added on the outside. Now here's my question to you. We have to decide which one it is. Does it look like it moved up one space or, or three spaces? The answer is B. The answer is B. It moved up. So this moved up 3 spaces. So this might be a nice note to add. It moved up 3 spaces, so that's why it looks like that. Okay? Can I delete? Yeah. Carmine, are you okay still, or you still writing? Okay, I'll wait a second. Okay, so we're on number 2 here. So let me ask Shakir, what would I have to do to the blue line to get it to match that green line? Move it to the right. Okay, so now use your chart. See if you guys can figure out which of these options it would be. Which of these is moving to the right? So I'll call on somebody, don't shout it out, but which of those is moving to the right? You want to check with your team? Go ahead, I'm going to give you a few more seconds. Good morning. You can just sit anywhere for now. I'll show you where you're at a little bit later. Oh, he's got you. All right. Brianna, what did your team conclude there for this one? A, B, C, or D? It is A. Moving to the right means you're subtracting a number on the inside of the parentheses. All right? Hey, what's up, Miles? Good question. I'll answer that with you in a little bit. It's a confusing thing, but I'll show you. All right. Not here. All right. So talk with your team about that one real quick. I'll give you a second. Oh, I didn't print you guys an 11 on your paper? Oh, you know what? It's probably student practice then. Let me see. How many are there left? You guys don't go up to this many?
No, we stop at 10.
Oh, okay.
But I know the answer to number 11.
Okay, well let's look at 11. So what's that, buddy? Okay, yeah. So that's interesting. And no, you guys don't have 2 papers, no? Darn it. Okay. Oh well. It's okay. I think we'll be okay without it, but we'll just practice a little bit. Is it C? Let's see.
Oh no, it's A.
No, you're right.
No, it's okay.
So explain why it's C. Give me an explanation.
Because it's -1 is outside.
Okay, good. And to make the blue line become like the green line, I have to go down. And to make it go down, you subtract outside the parentheses. Okay. All right. So I think you guys are doing well with this. It's going to have to be displayed up here. I'm going to give you guys, instead of, I wanted just to let you guys work on it at your seats on the paper, but I guess I didn't print all the problems. So we're just going to do like 3 more, but I'm going to let you guys do them as a team here, and then I'll have you guys share out. I'll do that. Huh? No, you don't need to write these down. You don't have to write these down. I just want you guys to talk about it with your team.
Like 30 minutes ago?
Are you guys, if you're ready, talk, if you want to check with your team, go ahead, but I'll call on you here. I'm gonna use my cards here. Let's try Crystal, what are your thoughts? B. I agree. Because we move to the left, and when you move to the left, you're adding a number inside the parentheses. All right. Let's do 2 more, and we'll be done for the day. So talk with your team about that. All right, what do you think, Adriana? A is right. To make the blue line be like the green line, we have to move it down 3 spaces, so we're subtracting 3 outside the parentheses. All right, let's look at 1 more, and then I'm going to give you guys a bonus question if you want, but I'm only going to let 1 person give me the answer, so it'll be kind of a race. But I'll give you some extra points for it. But let's try this one. This will be our last required problem for the day. So if you want to talk to your team about that real quick. All right, I'm going to ask Adrian, what do you guys think about this one? D is right. So to make the blue line match the green, I would have to move it to the right, which is subtraction on the inside. So here's my bonus question for you guys, but we are done for the day. I'm going to draw this. Let's say that this is my function of f. You have to put this on a piece of paper and turn it into me. All right, this is just a challenge question, but don't share your answer with anybody, but put your answer on a piece of paper, And I won't tell you if you're right until the very end of the period, but turn the paper in to me when you're ready. I want you, so the blue line here is F. The blue line is F. My question to you is, what does G equal? Okay? So, don't share your answers with others, but, put it on a piece of paper. Put your name on a paper, turn it into me, and I'll tell you guys at the end of the period what it is, okay? Should have the notes. That might help you. You're right, though. That will come in handy. Put your name on it, bring it on up when you're done. Here is our Uh-oh, they're misplaced, huh? Whenever you feel like you want to talk about that why is the negative, make it go right, let me know, but if you want to ponder this for a while, go ahead. Q. The answer is Q. Thank you. Good try, though. Good try. We'll see how it turns out. I'll let you know. How many? How many? All right. Yeah, we finished really early today. Don't forget, we do have extra credit for homework tonight also. So you have regular homework plus an extra credit. So you could do the extra credit now in class if you want. Yeah, help yourself.
Come on, don't do it.